Oh, hey, as far as I know, everybody, you should be back and you should be able to now see me. Hey there, how are you, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic Monday and that it's treating you the way it should treat you, like a king. And yeah, let's talk dialogue today. Yeah, I guess my normal camera again is not working. Let me try. The camera is sometimes giving me a problem. Don't know exactly why, but I want to fix that because I don't want that to be this camera. I want it to be that camera. There we go. That should be better. Although it seems like it's squashed a little bit, don't you think? Fixed it. Better, right? That was not exactly a new camera angle. Basically, it's the old camera angle, which is a terrible camera. But my USB port for this one seems to have a little bit of a trouble and it doesn't always work the way I want it to. So I figured today, there, hello again. Thank you. Thank you so much. I figured today we could have a look at the dialogue system for Gaia. I haven't actually even started Unity yet, so I guess I should do that too, because we want to probably try and implement some of it. Uh, but before we do, let's talk about it a little bit and let's write out some things. And in the meantime, I can just start Unity in the background, which doesn't really bother me. So the thing that it is with this dialogue system, obviously, is what I want is it to be extensible. So what I will need at least is a portrait because I want to show the person who's talking. I need a name or a name for the person who's talking, and then the actual dialogue, right? Uh, Also, you would have to have the continue buttons or something, continue options or whatever, um, just to make sure that that's extensible. And then, and this is more like accessibility part, let's give that a heading also. For the accessibility part of that, we would have to have scalable fonts, um, possibility to add audio files. And once you set that option, it should be um, obligatory. So if there's one option set, then it should be obligatory. But they can also be turned off. Um, Volume controls. Um, and maybe not just scalable fonts, but also scalable window, dialog window. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, for the dialogue, I also want the portrait to have orientation left or right. The name, well, should be obligatory, but can be a question mark if we don't know yet who that person is. Hmm. Basically, those are the things that I can think of right now, but I'm not sure if that's going to be all. For now, that's what I think. So I have my paint open. Yeah, old-fashioned paint. There we go. Um, so it's kind of thinking to sketch first a little bit how it could look like. Maybe you have like this window behind it. Obviously, we have the game. So we could have either on this side a portrait. I forgive my drawing skills here because drawing like this is not exactly easy. So let's create a head here. There we go. Some hair. I don't care. Really hard to draw like this in paint. And a face with two eyes. There we go. And a little nose here. And this is a happy face. So you should also, that's why I do this. This is emotions. You also need emotions. So a mood would be good to have. So you can change the portrait depending on the mood. Hey, Jack, Jack Studio. Welcome into your lurk mode. What's up? We're gonna talk about dialogue. You see what I did there? We're gonna keep the dialogue alive about dialogue. So yeah, today we're gonna try and create a dialogue system for Gaia the game, and I'm trying to draw that out in Paint. Yeah, I'm terrible at drawing. I know. So bear with me. It's gonna be it's gonna be better when I finally make it, right? So here the name. There we go. Beautifully written. And then here's some gibberish, blah 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 blah. Right? And depending on what we do with the fonts or what we do in the options, this could be bigger, so less lines of code, so less lines of text. So that is something that we will have to figure out as we go, like what is the best option, how does it work, how does it look. So yeah, I kind of think that we can go from here and start making something like this in Sprite. And I'm thinking that we will do the dialogue background semi-transparent. I'm not 100% sure if that's the way to go, but I do like the option of going semi-transparent so we can see it, the scene behind it. We might also have to have that as an option so that people who are colorblind or people who are having trouble with sight in any way can turn that off or turn that option so that it has no transparency so they can see the dialogue better. Um, well, obviously, they can also turn on the audio, but that might be one step too far. So let me see an Sprite. Let me start that. Here, right. So I'm gonna start with a new file. Let's make it 9020 by 1080, which is the size of the scene. And I'm gonna put a layer, where you go, new reference layer. And for that reference layer, I'm going to use a screenshot from the project. Totally different project. Doesn't help. Projects, screenshot. Should not even be in this one. It should be higher. Recordings, and I just take whatever screenshot I can find. Oh, no, 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 no. I didn't say that. Damn it. So nice if it's not going to work the way you want it, right? Reference layer from funnel. So what I want is to have, for example, this screen. Why does that not have any color? Hmm. Oh, I made a grayscale image. Sorry, you found. Here we go. Bloop. There we go. So there we go. Now we have something that we can work with. So on top of that, we can create our dialogue system so that we have an idea of what it will look like. I'm kind of doubting if I want that to be the entire width of the screen or not. But I would like maybe if you guys can share your opinions on what you think would work well. because yeah, that's always a decision that is not easy to do. I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat, so sorry if I'm coughing every now and then. It's not that I'm trying to. I guess I can just try first without actually mm, doing it full size first. And I was thinking that I can play around a little bit with the colors that I actually already have in this scene. Not just um, because of this scene. It's not that this will stick to the scene, but I like the colors that we used for the bakery here. So I might be able to just choose some colors from this. So I was thinking this darker color could be the background of the entire window. So let me just grab. Would be nice if I actually see my controls. Okay, I'm just guessing now. So let me see. G and fill that up. I don't know why the heck I wasn't seeing that. Okay, should be full size, not just until there. That's not so nice. So let's expand that a little. Sorry, my mouse is not exactly cooperating. Down there. So that would be the width of the screen if I do it like that. Obviously, we can size that. That will be the dialogue background. Then we will have a portrait. And I was thinking that I could maybe do something with a PNG that I have of myself. Uh, do I have that in an old version? Could be here. Art, portraits, father. There we go. That's me. And let's select the color range. I can do that, right? So can you select color range white, please? Okay. And delete that. Control C. And let's dump that in here. And we can put that maybe on the bottom here. Let's scale that up a little. What the hell? Okay, well, not saying this is a very nice pixel art portrait, but it is a portrait and it's something, right? Uh, I should have put that in a different layer. So, oh, that was not what I wanted. Um, layer, new, there we go. Portrait. That would be this crazy guy in pixel art. Totally unrecognizable, I understand. Nobody would ever think that that's me. So then I think it would be nice if it looks a little different for the actual dialogue, a different background color. So let's add a new layer just to make that a little easier. and call that background. Or no, not background, dialogue. Welcome in, by the way, David. Nice to see you again. Now that the game jam is over, I hope you had a wonderful submission. And I don't know what your score was. How did you end up? I have my system volume at max as well as the streamer volume. Is there a master Twitch volume? You're happy with it? What did you end up at? What was your score? I'm kind of curious. We went somewhere around, well, high 200s in the overall score, that is at least. It looks somehow that my microphone is a little less gainy as normal today. So if it's too soft, let me know and I can turn up the volume a little. But that would be a filter that I have to put on. So if this volume is okay, then let me know so I don't change it. If it's not, then please do let me know. Okay, so I am thinking that this color would be maybe a very nice background color for the dialogue. So let me do another selection. So for, let's say here, I would like to see my selection. I don't know what is happening here. Normally I see that. I had the same problem with another Twitch stream as well, so maybe on my side. Well, let's hear from other people then maybe in the stream, because I cannot hear myself. Thank God. I wouldn't want to hear myself. Anyway, because my meter is going almost to the yellow, which is not super high, obviously, but it's also not exactly low. Can turn up the gain a little. Theme 41, music 128, nice. Fun 177, mechanics 217, overall 249. Nice, nice. You're higher than we are. I think we were 285 or something. Well, that's okay. I mean, we knew that our game missed a few things, so we wanted to add a lot of other things, and they never got in there. So, yeah, it is what it is. By the way, is the volume better for you now? Because for me, sometimes it's now spiking into the red. I have a pretty heavy voice, so that could be. Yeah, it's better. Good. If it's better, then I keep it like this. You're welcome. Hey, Abadus, welcome in. Welcome in. I am hoping you also are having a wonderful Monday. I kind of have a fine Monday. It's the only thing that I didn't like really. That was the traffic when I went home. I mean, I have to drive from The Hague to a little village where I live, which is not a problem, except for the fact that take getting out of that The Hague took me an hour, and that was 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers. 1 hour. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. Well, let me get another nice dark color. Would like to actually see something here. So that's one, two. So here would be the place that I start. I want to make it a double line, so it's a little easier to see it. And let's start on this line and just create a straight line all the way to the other side, which is going to take me a while to scroll there. Nice when your mouse is, what the hell? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I don't see anything. Okay, there we go. That should be a straight line. My preview window is in the way. Never thought I'd say that. Uh-oh. Well, we can fix that. And there we go. Looks entirely too big when you do it like that, but when you do it like this, then it actually looks pretty okay. And I'm probably gonna want to do a little bit of a shadow in there, but that's it's just a little design. I want to see how this can look. Obviously, it's not final. Could still change if I decide that it looks better another way. But I do want to have a little bit of a design before I actually start making the UI, because one of the things that I'm not good at all is UI. I think nobody ever said that they were good at UI in Unity, right? Whoever said that is probably lying. But, a little bit of setup before goes a long way. So, so tell me, you guys, how was your Monday? Except for the fact that some of you guys probably got your results from Game Dev TV. UI is not good at people. No, UI is. I can tell you a little joke here. As you know, I'm Dutch, right? And in the Netherlands, UI is a word for onion. And what do onions do? They make people cry. Doesn't that say enough? Doesn't that just say enough? For me, it does. I would say it says enough. So we have our little border. Yeah, yeah, you didn't know that one, right? There you go. Another thing learned. So I already wrote a little bit down, like we will need a portrait, a name, a dialogue, and the mood will depending on the mood, the portrait will change. And the portrait can also be on the right side. So it shouldn't be too hard to switch from left to right. I can easily do that, and depending on where I want it to be, or a bit more dynamic. Otherwise, it stays all the way all the time on the left side. I guess I can just configure that based on where somebody is standing. So if um, the NPC or actually the boss or whatever is on the right side of the character, it might be on the right side, otherwise on the left side, and vice versa. But that is something that I will have to figure out a little bit and play around with. But yeah, here you go. This was my beautiful sketch of the entire thing that would come to pass, and we're starting to get there. And now we need to put a name in there. So we're gonna do the name, I guess, in a different color. I'm gonna have to think about that because we want the text to be very readable. I need a. Let's see if I have. I cannot put text, of course, in Sprite, so I'd have to draw that on. That's not so nice. But I'd have to think of a font that I can actually use for doing the dialogue and the title of the dialogue, and the title being the name of the one who's talking. Could also put the name on the left underneath the portrait. What do you guys think? What is the better location for this? I'm thinking quite strongly that I do not wish to have everything fully uh, there. We have a trouble that my portrait background is no longer completely transparent, but I can fix that. Color range. When doesn't have. That should have that option, right? To pick that color. Let me do it like that then. Before I have to type that all in again. I don't want to do that. So select color range one. Okay. Take it out. That's better. So then the face would not become transparent because that obviously takes away from the readability of the portrait. We don't want that to happen, but we do want the dialogue background and the dialogue. Actually, also a dialogue background. Maybe I should call this different. Dialogue panel, I guess. Backgrounds. Let's put it like that. And the dialogue background, I would say, would also need to be transparent. So this is 84. Let's put it also an 84 more. There you go. But with that, we can still see through the scene the scene through this a little bit, and that makes it a little bit more integrated. I think looks nicer that way. Okay, I can do that, and the text will be probably white to be more readable. Maybe we do something with words that we want to emphasize, and that can have a different color. Could be. Not 100% sure yet. But this is a good start, I would say. So I can basically turn off the other layers one by one, those assets. So I don't need the portrait, I don't need that. I just need this. And then I will export with that. If I do the, let's see, if I just export this, it will export everything, right? Just want to have the selection. And here we go. Up there we go. By the way, guys, if I become cranky in what way or ever, don't be upset about it. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best not to, but that is not what I selected, misters. I'm doing my best not to be cranky, but the thing is, I just started something called the No Sugar Challenge in the Netherlands, or actually the Sugar Challenge. Why the hell is it not copying? I have the correct layer. This should just select that thing and then copy it, right? Oh, there's an ad break for some people. I'm so sorry. That's better. There you go. Okay. So that doesn't have the transparency, so that doesn't copy over. What? That is crazy. Okay. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Okay, and what process is using that then? Okay. Export via dialogue panel background. Let's see where it's trying to save this. Not in the correct place. Should be here. Art. Let's make a new folder here. Create folder. Dialogue. Dialogue panel background. PG. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Export. That's one. Then turn that one off. The portrait we already have, but we should have the transparent version. So ooh, too much of my own face to see. I don't want to see that. What? Uh, Getting crazy with that. What? There's something going on here. Damn it. Don't you love it when the user interface of the program you're using is messing with your user interface? There you go. That's better. Ooh, wow. Too big, too big, too big. I want to see myself so big. Ugh. Correct directory? Yes. Sample portrait. Export. Don't want to save that or that. And turn on the dialog backgrounds. Not yet sure if also this entire interface should be scalable or not. Because I think that that might be taking it a step too far. No. What is this that makes it so damn freaking hard to do this? Every time I select it, it goes to a different freaking layer, and I keep having trouble to select the correct thing. It's not nice. That's better. And again, that transparency is gone. No. Export dialog backgrounds. Okay. So we have some elements already taken. So we can start to actually put this in here. And for that, I might want to scale up this scene a little bit so I can see better. It's too much. Okay, the portal is turned off. I don't want that right now because otherwise I will not be able to do much. And I'm going to have to make a little bit of UI. Always hurts to say UI. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same? Does it hurt you to say UI? It does for me. So let's start with a canvas. Basically, we need to have that dialog canvas. And that is huge, obviously, as always. And on the dialog canvas, we will have at least a parent that I would say create empty parent. No, create empty. So basically, this will be the dialog system. And that will be alt. bottom, but then a little up. Let me see if this is the correct way. Like maybe 100 there. That should be okay. Then it should be width 100%. I don't know if that works anyway. Doesn't? We had a height of, what was that again? Look at my folder here. Essence, art, dialogue, dialogue panel backgrounds, and you are. How big are you? 401. I could have rounded that off at 400, but idiot me did not. Okay, well, 400, I'm making it now. Okay. Hey, AZ, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I hope so. I'm doing my best to make it work. So I hope so. I'm trying to make a dialogue system today, so um, let's create some more UI effects here. And I start off now with image, which is going to be a background image. Background image for the dialogue. Um, let's call it dialogue panel background. Let's give it a good name, right? So the sprite should be what I just put in art dialogue panel background, right? So let's drag that in. Bloop. Do we see that working? Yes, but only for this little bit because this is not stretched, of course. 320, 400. How can it be that it's not in the same position? That's stupid. This is its parent, right? I don't understand. Its position is 200. Makes no sense, does it? 250 then maybe. 300 even. Wait up. I'm getting confused here. I don't know about you guys, but if this is 200, then it's completely different. Because now I don't have this step. But my dialogue system, it's like it's lower. Let's turn this one off because we had that dialogue system like here, right? That's my dialogue system. Yeah, position Y 100. Yeah, I know. But for whatever reason, when I turn this back on, and it's even higher, it goes lower. Mine is 100. You could almost say so, but that's going the wrong way. So this should be 250, and it's not correct. Like 300. This should be 300 to fit in there, which is weird. And actually, the dialogue system is smaller than my image, which is also weird because my image was still 400 high. Huh? This is something that I never understand. I know I set it to 400. You guys saw that, right? I set this to 400 high. But for whatever reason, the containing dialog system is either not 400 high, or this one is not 400 high. Can somebody shoot me? Because I don't get it. This is full screen. I understand. Dialog system is this. And then, for whatever reason, this is bigger. This is why I hate UI. This is really why I hate UI. It just never does what I expect. Okay, well, let's, on top of this background, let's put a new one, UI image, and let's put in the portrait, right? And for now, just I will just position it to the left, right? Left, right. So that seems to work. And for that, I will have the example portrait and put it in there. And the the size of that should be 304 by 376, 304, 376, 304 by 376. There you go. Or maybe I should just set that first and then put it into position or something, because I would expect that not to be like this. 150. That's better. So weird. I think in the end, I will probably end up with doing that new UI system, or more or less new UI system that they have. I guess this one never exported, so let me still do that. Export as dialog background. Thought I already did that, but I don't see it, so I guess I didn't. Well, let's see. Now it's there, so I guess I didn't. So we have our dialog portrait. Now we should have in here also our dialog background, UI image called dialog ground. And maybe let's already set that first. Alt there. Then the width and height should be 1474 by 343. 1474, 343. 1474, 343. 1474, 1474, 343. It doesn't seem to understand. Now I do it and then it works. You have to first set the width and height and then it will work. Okay. So I also want it a little bit off of the side. So like that. This is okay. This is the way. This is the way, guys. This is the way. Yo, 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 incredible, bro. If it isn't incredible, everyone, I want from you all a little bit of a round of applause for Incredibro, because thanks to him, we actually submitted our game to the Game Dev TV Game Jam and ended up in the top 300. So I'm quite proud. Thank you, Incredibro. So yeah, it was definitely a good job. I'm quite proud. For the first time that I actually participate in this, I actually got something that we could turn in, and I'm super happy with that. So, okay, so now we have set up our dialog panel with a background, a portrait, and a dialog background. We're almost there. The portrait is not exactly positioned where I want it, so I have to probably, I don't know if that's a minus that we need to do. Yeah, minus. Somewhere like that. Dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work, or something like that. I think it was teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, so we have that. And now we'll have to look for a second for a font. So I'll take you on my journey here. Uh, Pixel Art Font 3. I want a nice pixel art font that is good readable. That's the hardest part usually. Find one that is actually readable. Because most fonts that I see in pixel art games are not really that readable. I find the Arcade Classic does pretty well. Joystick Monospace could also work. Arcade Regular, I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but I find that pretty. Why your face looks pixelated? Because my face is pixelated there. My pixelated version of me. But my camera is turned off again or something. Huh. Why the camera is not showing? Oh, the camera moved. There you go. I don't know why it moved, but here I am. Sorry, Incredibro. Nobody told me this, so yeah, now I have to find it out for myself. Me working on my dialogue system idea, seeing how it works. So yeah, what I was saying is that it's always hard to find a nice pixelated font. I do like this. This is cool, but I don't know how readable that is for people with visibility issues. And by the way, it looks like it is also not free. Well, it is for personal use, but that's not what we're having here. Free for commercial use. You know, that's what we want. We want those green ones. Too bad that this one is not, because I kind of like that one. Lottie is not very readable. Google Fonts, yeah, I can also do that, but this is also not much different, right? Google Fonts. Funny that it doesn't do that first. Google, because actually I'm in Google. Browse font. Okay, so uh, filter search font. Doesn't have pixel art, or does it? No, pixel. Uh, Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. I guess this one could work. But I'm not 100% sure if this still works if you zoom it up, because now this is pretty big, obviously. I think small this works better than big. Please don't wander off. And then they only have the huge ones in this. Readable on your mobile portrait view. Yeah, but you also have to think in when it scales. Because yes, you can read it, but if you are vision impaired, does it still read good? Well, we can change the font later, obviously, but I might have to consult the people who are actually vision impaired for that to see if they can, if they are not like blind, but only nearsighted, so they have trouble with seeing much that they can still see it. I guess it works. Let's do it for now. Just download it, please. Extract. Yeah, sure. Install. That should be it. So, okay, we got that. Yeah, yeah, I know. I have to first put it here in the first place because I don't have that done yet. So first I need to put it in fonts, something like that. Because I don't have any fonts here yet. So let me put create folder, import a font, import new asset, downloads, where you are, Pixelify Sans. There you go. Import this one from there. What was it again? Oh, I never remember how to do it, but I know I have to do it. I just never remember how to do it. So we have that, and where was that? Um, a game object? No, there's a menu for that. XMesh Pro, font, font asset creator. Oh, apparently I don't even have that yet. Quite important. Maybe I missed it. Do you guys make your own fonts? No. So far, no. That would be quite something, I must say. Would be interesting to one day try and do that, but no, I haven't done that yet. Okay, so save, right? That's all I have to do. Yeah, okay. Hey, by the way, I never asked you how was my coding in the last rally game. I must admit, until the last moment, I haven't really checked the coding because I just trust you that it's good enough. So that's it. I didn't check. And at the moment, I'm not checking it. So I will have a look at it later, Incredibro, and let you know how I like your code. Okay? I also had to let go a little bit of my crazy obsessiveness with having the having the code be my style. I don't know. I shouldn't probably want that or whatever, but yeah, that is what it is. You're somebody who codes in a certain style, and somebody else tries to do it, then they do it not wrong, but in your eyes in a different way, and it's eh, you, like that, you know, can really twist me up a little bit. It shouldn't, but it does. Okay, so let's now in this create another UI element, but a Text Mesh Pro one. And where's the font? I want to change this font to the Pixelify font. This is going to be the name. We never decided on coding style. I know. We never talked about it. Doesn't mean that I don't have my preferences. Character name, put it like that. And we'll put another one in here. UI tag, and we call that actual dialogue. Also, by default, it wants to have liberation sense. I don't want to have liberation sense ever. So there we go. That's also why it's fine, Incredible, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, I can go crazy about that, or I can just leave it. Documentation for that, yeah, that would be nice, right? Okay, we have the preset here. Let's make the width a little higher, a little bigger, because we can have bigger titles for the name. So let's say, for example, 300, I think would be nice. And with that, I have to do this again. I just figured that out because otherwise it doesn't stay. Obviously, everyone has them, and I'd love to have documentation. Yeah, who wouldn't, huh? I guess the height might also be a little nicer if that's, for example, 75. There. And then use all those options. This should be here. This should be not centered, but left. And I want some spacing options. Yeah, spacing options. I want to change the position. My other team had a one-page doc for the naming convention for that. Wow. Professionals, right? Uh, do that bold here. Maybe I should change the position a little bit to like 175. Yeah, that would look nice. And then the position of this should be, it's a good idea when collaborating, which I will still kind of follow. No, that's the wrong way around. 37 should be 50 then. Something like that. 50, no, 50, 62 and a half. 62, yeah, 25, 25. There you go. One time effort, long term results. Yeah. Especially if you use that over and over, then definitely that becomes interesting. Why the heck did it became 30? Okay. Looks a little, okay. From far it looks a bit weird, but fortunately it isn't really weird. So let's do the dialogue and set this up for the width and height. There's an ad break again. I'm sorry for everyone who has to suffer through that, but I promise it's over before you even know it. So let's set the width and the height for this text box because it will have the rest of the space. So basically, um, this was 1474. So our dialogue will have like 1200 at least, or 1300. Let's view that in its entirety. Can have a little bit more, 1350, maybe even 1400. Let's see. Yeah, I know, but should I stop while the ads are going? Some people might not be able to hear me, but some others are able to hear me. Um, I'm just going to put it in the full width. 1400 works pretty well. Yeah, that looks nice. think the ads are over again, so everybody should be back. So let's make this like at least 200. I think that should be okay. Alt. There we go. Position Y. I didn't pick anything yet, to be honest. I still need to. Other way around, 125. There we go. That should be looking. I should pick 3D modeling. I will one day show you the collection of courses I have because I have quite a few of them already. And guess what you picked? The sound one? No. Did you? Because you already know so much about sound, I don't think so. The programming in C sharp? You'd guess forever. You just tell me, man. Just tell me. So that one is bold. I don't see any difference between normal and bold, really. Well, a little, it's bigger, but that's about it. How to get a job. Cool. Well, I seriously hope you get it, man. I seriously do. So we have some space here in the title bar. So we could do this with auto text and set it in between two different sizes, I think, minimum and maximum here. That could be an option to automatically size it based on whatever we need. But I don't think we want to do that in this case. We want to have the font size like this so we can configure it later. And say somebody, let's zoom out. Let's say we're dealing with somebody who's nearsighted. We change the font size to 72. So then we need to also make sure that that size of the container really that holds this is big enough for that. So let's say I do that. I want to have a bit more space. Ooh, that was weird. Should be stretching it. There we go. What was that? This is where the fun begins. I heard it for a second and I didn't hear it anymore. Half Moon, Half Moon. It's been so long since I saw you, man. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you're doing wonderful on this lovely Monday. Half Moon, the guy with probably the most points in my channel. He could keep going forever. So that gives this a lot more space. So now we could easily go to 72, maybe even 80. That even works, which is good because then we can play around a little bit with font sizes. Header text should be top stretched anchored. 25K earned a lot. Thanks for the stretching credit, bro. I need to go a little bit backwards, otherwise I cannot stretch for anything. Yeah, I'm happy that you're here, man. I missed you in the chat. That's some people, they've been there from the beginning, and then it's really not nice if they're not there. But on the other hand, I know life gets in the way, right? So it can be a bit hard. And Incredibro, as for the font, what I'm thinking is that this will be configurable. Either you have your portrait on the left or portrait on the right, and that makes the difference whether you will have your text here or your text on the other side, basically. So what I was personally thinking is that the text should not have to be centered, top stretch anchor. So what you would say basically is to have the entire bar and stretch it out. Yeah, but should it have to be in the middle? Because what I was thinking, like, for example, in this case, new text should have obviously not be character name, but the father in this case, just to show it a little bit nicer. And in this case, I would say that 36 is too little for the title. Let's at least start with having a title of 48. So it's clearly bigger. And then the dialogue text should be just here. And oh, wait, I'll just type in one. Please don't wander off too far, Gaia. I can't leave your brother alone. Also, kind of wondering if that breaks on its own. Would probably if it's more than that. I can't leave your brother alone. I am whatever. I will just type more. I understand things are interesting, but please stay with me. But please stay with us. There, something like that. So if we have that, then okay, let's. It will not. It's not that I'm actually trying to show it like that, but let's just play. First time for whatever reason now the scene doesn't load anymore. Okay, we have it. Okay, let's stretch this up again. Looks nice. What do you think? Does this work? Hmm. Looks pretty good. Good, no? We can always change it later, but for now I think this looks pretty okay. We have a dialog bar. It's in the bottom of the screen. And now we should start to do with it the effects of how it will look. And I'm thinking, and this is something that will be maybe a little harder to make. I'm thinking it would be cool if, except for the title, "The Father," the text that's being read would be something that you actually, when you hear it, that the text will come in the same timing as the actual reading of the text. That would be absolutely incredible. Um, but I'm not sure if we can make that happen. But it's a good start, right? I'm quite happy with this. So from this, we can start building to the other things. So what wrote down before is that for the dialogue, I want a portrait left or right orientated, depending on where we are on the screen. Name, the dialogue itself, and the mood that should change the portrait, and any possible continue option. So I guess that will just be a button that you show which button they have to press. Um, I don't know yet. I have to think of that. I don't really know yet. So accessibility options here. We need scalable fonts, so we need to be able to make it bigger. And we have that because obviously a font can be changed. The possibility to add audio files. That's something that we will have to do in the code. Volume controls, but that's an option thing, so you can turn it down or lower, up or down. Basically, the dialog window might need to be scalable. I think we can really do that. At least we will have to probably tweak the images a little bit, but I just put this together in 5 minutes, so that is not going to be the biggest issue. Now we're actually going to have to code stuff here. But we don't have the dialog panel by default, obviously, and I have to think a little bit on um, what will trigger the dialogue and how to make the entire flow of the dialogue happen. That I haven't thought out completely yet, because somebody initiates the dialogue. Could also be a point, like you walk over a certain point and that triggers the dialogue, but it could also be that you get close to somebody and that triggers a dialogue. And the dialogue that it triggers should be somewhere configurable. I don't I don't really know yet how we're going to do that, but I'll figure it out as I go along, I guess. So Um, that means I'm gonna create not just a level manager, but I'm gonna make a new thing. That's called dialog. Cannot see shit. Dialog manager. And that dialog manager will obviously have a script on it. Wait, C# script. And first of all, we should probably make sure that the dialog manager knows, uh, or we need to do scriptable objects. Not 100% sure about that one yet. Uh, but where to put the title, what's the name, and everything. So I guess that will be a character thing. Um, but the dialogue is not, because the dialogue should be different depending on different moments. So you don't want to have the all the dialogue with a character. It makes no sense, right? Having two orientations for dialogue view would be nice. One for Gaia and one for everyone else. Yeah, I'm even thinking, but maybe I'm thinking it too far ahead. What I'm thinking right now is to show the portrait on the side where the person is. So if Gaia is more walking here, and in this case her father is out of the screen but talks to her, he will not be in view. So if that one is talking, he's on the left of her. So then the portrait is on the left of Gaia. Um, if, for example, we have that scene where she meets Poseidon, Poseidon is on the right, so the portrait would be on the right. That's my thought right now. But yeah, I mean, I could be totally wrong for that. Maybe that's not even a smart idea, but yeah, it could also be that Gaia is always on the left and any other character is always on the right. Only two for each. Two for each. I have to explain that to me, man. Consider me stupid. I have no clue what you mean. So well, every character can be left or right, but it doesn't make much difference for the orientation. What I was thinking in the portraits that I show a mood, and that mood will change the image. So, for example, let's say as a father, I'm just neutral. I can have my face like it is right now. If I'm not neutral, but I am upset, I can show more like anger, like I don't want to have this, and that could even maybe change the color of the portrait a little bit. But yeah, those kind of things I was thinking, but I might be overthinking like always. This was fun, Dragon. I'm off to do my own deving. Hey, good luck, David, and keep me informed of anything you're making. If you ever have something that you want to be played on stream, don't worry about that. Give me a sign. I do that every once in a while. I show other indie games as well, so feel free to let me know. You're already on my Discord, so you know where to be. Right? I wish you happy deving. I was right, deving with double V. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe I'm just wrong and the entire world is correct. Anyway, I always do the double V instead of one V. Okay, so what we're gonna need is a script for this, and I'm gonna have to think about that for a bit. Hmm. I know I made it once before, a little bit like this. Not this, but something like it. So I'm gonna just check if I can remember how I did that back then to know what I did. Dialog trigger and dialog managers, you know. Let me first check what I did before. I had also a dialog panel with text, portrait animator, layout animator. Not entirely sure I like the way I was doing it back then. And I remember that I did something with ink back then as the editor for doing my dialogues. However, I'm not sure if I want to go that way. And I kind of also might want to explore all the existing dialogues systems that are out there so I don't write the wheel again, just to save me a little bit of time. So let me check this. Unity dial. Okay, I'll take you with me in this journey. Dialog system. Let's see what this one is. You get 5 stars, so that's also not exactly cheap. Oh yeah, well, I understand why. I don't think really this is for a 2D platformer. Okay, like here it is. That's nice. It looks like it's pretty changeable. You can do anything you want with that, which is kind of cool. Will not lie. But for 84, 83, that is quite a lot of money. Hmm. Pixel Crusher. That's the one I just saw, right? Logic and Lua. Hmm. Cleaning the UI animations. Yeah, I will probably want to do some animation in there. So yeah, I don't know. Not yet. But is this the same one? Pixel Crushers, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is the same one. Just has a different eye. I hear it as that icon. Let's see a few more, because not all of them will be as expensive as the other one. What do they have here? What is the best dialogue system asset? Stack the pile. Stack the pile. Thank you for the raid. 6 people. Thank you so much for taking your trusted viewers to my stream. I'm super happy that you chose me to go to. Let me show you a little bit of what I'm making right now. I'm trying to make a pretty extensible dialogue system. Wondering if I should use a pre-existing one. Hey, Moonstone, thank you so much for joining your friend Stack the Pile and coming over here. That's very nice. I'm very happy to have you all here. So I'm trying to make this dialogue system and I'm trying to make it look interesting, but I also want to connect this to accessibility options. So I'm trying to think ahead because you're going to have fonts that are basically scalable. We have to be able to scale out the dialog window. We might even have to have an option to turn off other things so you can just focus on the dialogue. But I also want to connect it to the spoken dialogue. So um, what I want is for a system where if the option is turned on to have spoken dialogue, then you can actually hear the dialogue as it gets typed. So I do not want to do that with text to speech. because text-to-speech, I think, is one, pretty expensive in the operation because you need to have a constant connection to the internet. Sorry, I have a gas, I guess. Anyway, so I would like to have actually voice acted dialogues in there, but I'm still looking at a few of the options. I think I might have to do this dialogue system myself, but I'm also checking if there's some pre-made stuff that I can actually use pretty simple. Because dialogue will be important, and especially if I can connect it to audio options, so actually somebody can hear what I'm actually showing. So yeah, there's that. So this is one of those things that I'm looking at just to make sure that I'm doing it correctly from the get go. So that means I was writing down what I want with my dialogue options. I need portraits, either left or right orientated, the name of the character, a dialogue, a mood, which changes the portrait possibly, or some other things, and continue options. And then for accessibility, I was thinking about scalable fonts, possibility to add your audio files, the volume control, scalable dialogue window, and stuff like that. So I'm trying to put this all together. So I started today just basically making a little bit of a mock-up in Sprite, like this. Okay, this is more or less what it should look like, and then I started building this up in Unity. So this is where we are at now. I have it in Unity. I have checked it. I have all the different things that I need. The moods can obviously change the portrait, but for now I just have one portrait, so that's not going to be changing yet. But yeah, that's how where we are, and I'm now trying to make a dialogue manager with a script on it that actually will do something. Uh, on the other hand, I was thinking, let me have a look at which kind of dialogue systems are there, and is any one of them useful for me. But um, here it says the link, what is the best dialogue system asset? So I was kind of getting interested in the best one. Uh, it doesn't really show which one it is. Generally speaking, dialogue systems can be one of those obstacles in Unity where it simply doesn't make sense to try to build your own solution. This is because it's usually pretty unlikely that the amount of time it will take to build a system that you're happy with is worth less than the cost of simply buying an asset that already works very, very well. True. As a result, unless you have extremely specific requirements or buying an asset simply isn't an option for you, purchasing a ready-made dialogue system is almost always going to be the easiest way to get professional results quickly. So the dialogue system for Unity by Pixel Crushers is considered to be the best. Okay. And I just noticed that Incredibro also sent one. Let me have a look. That's a free one. Okay. Let me see. Dialogue editor, just insane. Definitely one of the most underrated assets out there. Saves you a lot of time. Thank you for making this masterpiece. Okay, show me. Rid of the bar, please. Why is it not playing? Okay.
Are comfortable with programming and wish to create your own UI implementation, each conversation can be accessed as a simple data structure. What I have
Cannot
here
see shit.
is a new Unity project. It's mostly blank besides from a couple things that I've added just for the purpose of this demonstration. I've got this little scene set up with a couple of sprites and this quest manager object that I'll just be using for the purpose of a demonstration. So this
Quest
can be
manager
downloaded
object.
from the Unity Asset Store or installed using the package. So for now, I'll quickly drag the Unity package and I'll make sure everything is selected and click import.
Yeah, I know how to import
Before
those
running
things.
the
That's not a
dialogue
problem.
editor window. This puts everything that we need in the dialogue editor folder. So first things first, let's make a conversation. To do this, we're going to make a new game object in the hierarchy. I'm going to call mine test conversation. and we're going to give this conversation a script NPC conversation. Now this conversation has been made and it's ready to edit. To open the editor window, we can go to Window, Dialog Editor. Conversations are made up of nodes, and there are two types, speech nodes and option nodes. Speech nodes are what characters will say, and option nodes are what the user is able to click on.
Yeah, okay, so you can
In
select
your
choices.
conversation, you'll have one speech node marked as the root. This is the beginning of the conversation. Click on a speech node to edit it. We're able to edit the following variables: character name,
Spaceman Jelly.
which is what the character will say, icon, which is the icon that will appear next to the icon that will appear in the UI. We can add any audio we can add audio to play. We can add a custom TextMesh Pro font, and we can hook in a Unity event. To create new nodes, we can right-click on the speech node, and we can create options or speech. I'm going to create two options for this speech node. So I'll right-click Create Option, and then click again. In this option, I'll say, no,
Sorry if this is a little bit more boring. I just want to check out what it does before I keep going.
I'll say, yes, I'm interested. Option nodes can lead onto speech nodes, so I'll right-click and I'll create a new speech node, and I'll fill this node in.
Looks at least very easy to use, so that's nice. Excellent.
What I'm going to do here is hook in a Unity event. So I'm going to click the plus. I'm going to drag in my quest manager. And I'm going to call the function quest manager begin quest. And I'm going to drag in my quest object here. So now, when the conversation begins, it will start with this node. And I'll have these two options. If I click this option, the conversation will end because it doesn't connect to anything.
So
However,
now
if I click this option,
I will want to see how they actually make that Spaceman Jelly to be the one that actually triggers this conversation. Because most likely that is still something that needs to be done.
So now that we've got this conversation created, let's add it into the game.
There you go. Now they're going to put it.
So I'm going to go back to the hierarchy, and I'm going to add a UI canvas. So I'm going to go right-click UI canvas. I'm going to make the UI scale mode as scale with screen size.
I forgot that.
Go into the
Oh,
dialog editor folder.
Sorry for the ad break.
Prefabs, and I'm going to add
Thing on pause here. Give me time to drink a little bit because my throat is really not good. We have still 38 seconds. Let me do a little dance for the people who are not able to hear me, so you can at least see me do something. Because usually you have that little screen in the top and you can just see me go like that. La 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 la. There you go. Almost. Less than 20 seconds, guys. You got it. We got this. Stupid. I cannot turn off ads. That's the dumbest thing. But yeah. And you're back. Thank you, everyone. You're back. You stick through the ads.
Conversation manager as a child of the canvas.
What's going on?
What's going on? Okay, so you have just the conversation manager in the prefabs. That's good.
The UI won't load correctly, so we'll quickly delete this conversation manager, drag it back in, and now it will all be correct.
Okay.
if you look in the inspector over here, you can see a custom inspector. This shows you a preview of what the UI will currently look like, as well as some options. You can provide a custom background image for the dialogue, a custom background image for the options, as well as some text options as to whether the text should scroll and how fast it should scroll. For this tutorial, I'll be leaving the default values. So what I want to do is to begin this conversation when I click on our NPC. To do this, let's create a new script for our NPC. Let's call him Spaceman Character. So, because we're using the dialogue editor, we have to use
Using dialogue editor.
at the top of our class.
That was quite
Next,
surprising.
there's 2 bits of code we need to add in. First, we need to create a conversation variable. We could do this by saying public NPC conversation, my conversation. This way, you can assign individual conversations via the inspector. And next, let's add in the code to begin the conversation when we click on the character. So now, if we left click on this NPC, we're going to want to call this line of code conversation manager .instance .start conversation, and we'll pass through the my conversation variable. And now we're done. All we have to do is assign this variable in the inspector by dragging this in here. And let's give him a box collider so that I can click on him. And now let's click play. So now, whenever I click on the NPC, it will bring up this conversation. Spaceman Jelly says, "Hello, are you looking for a quest?" If I click yes, I'm interested, it will reply excellent, and you can see down here, player has started quest rescue quest, which is the event that I set up in the conversation editor. That explains most of the basics. When you're creating your conversation, there are some extra options that are available to you. You can connect speech nodes to each other. This allows you to create scenarios where multiple characters are talking to each other. Also, if you accidentally connect 2 things or decide you want to make a change, it's possible to right-click on an arrow and delete connection, or it's even possible to right-click on a node and delete a node altogether.
Yeah, looks interesting. And it was saying something. Let's at least put it to my assets. That's something at least. It was saying also that you could put in the audio as well. That I didn't see in the example, at least. Doesn't mean much, but because I did, oh yeah, audio clip. So you can put with everything that you say, you can also put an audio clip in there. That per node. Good new quest. Yeah. And the icons, yeah. Okay. There is some value for that, in that for sure. So let me see, because I have 2 different backgrounds. I could put them in one, of course. Then it would be different. Then you don't need 2. Let me see. Let me import that thing. Let's see, registry. No, it's not actually my assets I need. Dialogue editor, that's the one, right? No UI programming is required. They had me at that. Who likes UI? Nobody does, right? So import that damn thing. Or was it dialogue editor or dialogue system? Well, there's like 7 different ones. This is the one, right? This is the way. Especially when it's free. Why the heck would I pay for it if I can get it for free, right? Okay, so we have it. There everything is. We have some assets, examples, conversation manager, dialogue editor, prefab, conversation button. Why are you crying, Incredibro? What did I say that makes you cry? Don't cry, please. Didn't want to make you cry. Hmm. Don't cry, please. Are you okay? So then to probably watch that tutorial again because I wasn't really paying attention on how to actually implement it myself. Let's Does they have something with a quest manager? Well, I don't need that, so that's okay if I don't have that. They were doing a new canvas. Oh, you like UI programming? I don't. I really hate it. So okay, so an empty thing will have a conversation. I guess you could also make the conversation itself a prefab that you just load in whenever you need it. Because you just have to connect it, right? Dialogue editor, NPC conversation. Okay, that was how you make that thing. So let me try. If I can figure out how this works, that would make it a good reason to do it. So conversation, just like that. That's NPC conversation. Uh-huh. Not like you can just dialogue editor. Let's put it here. What root speech note? Initial conversation. Uh, Default icon would be my portrait, so I can just basically take that from here, from the art dialogue example portrait. Default name is the father. Default font, that one. We don't need continue on this one. Oh, I should have done that here, I guess. There. The dialogue would be this one. Let's just copy that. I really don't want to do that all again. Please stay with icon is still my portrait. Audio clip we will do later. For now, it's okay. Font is Spoolify. And okay. So from there, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about the rest yet. I just want to see. Because they do all this stuff and then they start to implement it. Canvas, yes. And then just they drag in that thing. Okay, so let's turn off this entire thing. And then we drag in that new thing. It was a conversation manager, so let's put it in here. Boom. He said it was not correct the first time, but looks like mine is. Background image, let's put it, well, mine is also bigger, so let's put it in 1920 400. My background image dialog panel. Option backing image. Dialog image options. I guess this one. No, that one. Option image slice. Scroll text. Full speed, allow mouse interaction, blah, blah, blah. Even as an audio source one. What does that look like then? Because now I have it all the time. No, I don't. Obviously not. Ah. So this didn't change anything. That's the only thing I would say is a little less nice. I don't get to see it until I actually do it because they didn't change the options, obviously. So for them, um, I don't want option image, by the way, because I don't have options. None. Why didn't it change? I would kind of expect that to work, though. You can make a trigger collider thing to start conversation. Yeah, I know. Can make that pretty easily. Let's go and make the bakery or something. The building, bakery. Let's give that a trigger. So for now, just put a box collider. Of course, I will take that off. Good enough, I guess. Oh, except for the box collider is all the way down there. What the hell? Can I get that little dot here? Okay, there we go. We have a box collider and make it a trigger, I guess. And yeah, what did they make it so that yeah, because he has a script on it, so I can make basically anything trigger that. Yeah, And I make a using the dialog editor. Let's give him a quick script that I will not use forever. Bakery, boom. Create that. Will be completely in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter because I just want to check if it works. Ah, here we go. Bakery. Oh. You. Dialog manager. What? Doesn't know it. The editor, that was the one. What did they have more? On trigger enter, yeah, I know, but they did something else. Put the NPC conversation. You need to make sure that you can actually also fields, NPC conversation, NPC conversation. Get your pause off of my private keyboard. I don't want that. On trigger enter 2D. And what was the call? Let me check. Blah, I don't care. No, too far. Conversation manager dot instance dot start conversation. And then that would be the NPC conversation. There you go. That should be it. If everything is set up correctly. Which you never know because I usually make mistakes. So let's try. See? Duh. This is my biggest mistake I always make. I'm sure you guys already guessed it. At least Incredibro did. So I didn't tag yet the actual conversation. So this needs to go in here. There you go. I always forget that. The easiest thing to forget. There we go. But that doesn't look like a size of 1900 and it doesn't, right? This doesn't look like what I set it up for. So the size is not correct. I set this really to 1920 by 400. So that part I do not like yet. I have to figure out why it doesn't do that. What does that slice do? I don't know. Huh. Is it? You say easy fix, but I already set it up for the correct width and height. Look how it looks on the game screen. Yeah, not good. Too small. But why is that? It should be bigger, and it's not. How is this not 1920 by 400? What happens if I make it 3000? Nothing. The width doesn't change it. So now that we have this thing here, it's the audio manager that I see. Why on earth? So this just doesn't change. That is already better. Oh, but my dialogue canvas is 1920 by 1080, so that should be big enough. I don't think that's true. So this should already be better. But everything is just small. Ah, damn it, that was the thing. So I should probably not touch those options then. I forgot this, yeah. Wow. Now I don't see it. That's the funniest part. Conversation manager 1920, but let's see how it goes, because I really don't know. Yeah, now it's way too big, which is weird, but my portrait is not good. What was the initial? I should put this conversation manager back in there. Like he said, sometimes you need to put it back in, right? Let's put it there. Boom. Okay, so this is now scale with screen size, so that's good. Now I say 1920 400. Okay, and I position it with Alt down here. This makes no sense. Why is it so far away? This position could be 0, but more like there. And the options I don't want. You don't want options at all. Can I turn that off? What? Let's see it now. Yeah, yeah, getting there. Conversation reply options. Yeah, I didn't have any conversation reply options in there yet. But yeah. So I might have to change this to one that has also the other one in there. And maybe then with the text, they don't have an option yet, at least to change the padding of that. But that I can do myself. Okay. So I turned off the options, so we are not going to see them. That's okay. My portrait should be in the dialogue editor. So that is good. But okay, let me check, because better. I would want to have also the name. I still get options even though I turned those damn things off. Anyway, I will check that in a moment. It does work. That's good. And just close it. I want it to look different, so I'm gonna have to play around a little bit with how they have this done. So I can shift that around, I would say. For that, I have to go to the conversations manager in the scene. So I should be able to say, like, this is the icon, yeah, and I want the icon to become all the way and stretch that, right? So the speech should go down a little. The name should go there. And just left align it because there. Then the icon, I should be able to stretch that out or something. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Alt, stretch. No. Okay, then this should have a container to put it in, I guess. Because otherwise I cannot say how big it will be. So let's put in here, create empty, and I'll call this then placeholder. It's really nice to see how your game is developing. It inspires me every time again. Thank you so much for that. That is super awesome of you to say. I really like that. Thank you so much. Yeah, open prefab. I don't care. Okay, so the what? Okay, I had here an extra thing. I create empty parent for the icon. Create empty parent. So, oh yeah, hydrate. Thank you so much for that. I keep forgetting that. Thank you, Half Moon. That is really nice of you. So let me reset that 0, 0, line it to the left with a little bit of position X gain, like this much. Then, oh, it was going to be more anyway. I always forget that whenever I size this, it's going to be more. So let's put this on, let's say 350 by 350. Then I have to again do this because that is what always kills me. 350 is way too high. Oh, sorry for the ad break, guys. How big is my portrait? 304 by 376. 304 by 376. Okay. 304 to 304, 376. Seems huge, but from what I can tell, that actually is correct. It has to move right to like here. My speech options will go down like this. My name will go right. Will be left aligned. Till death do us part. Hey, what's up, guys? It's going okay. I'm trying to make the conversation at the moment. I hope you guys don't have commercials, because if you do, then you will not even hear what I'm saying. I'm trying to make our dialogue system at the moment. I designed it a little bit first here in Sprite, so it looks like that. And then I started to do it in Unity. Oh yeah, this was my initial stuff. Doing it in Paint. There you go. So that's what I started like. Then I wrote some things that I need, and then I started building this up inside of Unity. I have things in place more or less, but I now need the rest of it to go all pros use paint. Yeah, well, and especially they draw so nice, right? And wireframes are important. I totally agree. Couldn't agree more, actually. So I'm gonna call this different because this is not the nice name. NPC icon placeholder. It doesn't really matter, guys. It's just that I want this to go in here and to stretch out in that thing, but it doesn't. Well, it works, I guess. Let's check this out, guys, because this looks horrible like this, but now my portrait is indeed way too big. Okay, the idea is good. The execution is poor. So let's not do what I was initially thinking. So how is this not changed, by the way? That is a little bit strange. It is changed, but it didn't show that. Okay, so, okay, give me a second. I'll do this again. Because I'm pretty sure I need to put it back in. And then it should be okay. The conversation manager, there we go. Boom. Here we go. We cannot see shit here. Oh, sorry. Wrong place. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay. And maybe before I do that, let me take it out one more time. Let's edit this prefab. Let's get this icon. But why does this icon... Okay. It should stretch inside this thing. And I don't get that. This is the hardest part. So the conversation, the panel for the dialogue is not the correct.
Or you out?
What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out.
Okay, well then I'm out.
And it's not even outsider here. I love those little blurbs. Those are really funny. Anyway, it should be the 400 and it doesn't work. And that's because if this panel doesn't have the height that I want it to, or the width actually. So let me check it one more time. Just put it in. I'm saying 920 by 400 because that is the size that I want to have. I'm just pulling it down, then it still is on 200 height. I want that to be 0. What we don't want, obviously, is to tell it exactly in the conversation manager how high things are. Does Unity have its own language, or are you working in pixels? Unity has C# as a language. So I'm working in pixels, but also in code. So this gets triggered by code, but this icon is too big. So I'm kind of struggling with that at the moment. Shouldn't be too hard, but it is. So this should not be this big. For whatever reason, it should be just however high this is. Let's say 150 by 150, maybe. Kinda works. And then see how it stretches, I guess. Normal coding promises should be easy. 2 hours later, it wasn't yet. Almost. Well, I'm already liking it better. And now I'll fix it to what I want it to look like. So here we go. Clunk. Oh, I just don't want that default icon. If you meant like measuring, it has Unity units, but also pixel something, yeah. You know what? If I put the image a little bit up, I dabble in front end and have felt that pain. If I put just, I don't want these options. I have to figure out how they put these options and why they're there. And I also don't like that it's not as full screen as I want it to, but I guess it works. It works. It's not that awful. But if this image could go a little bit up, that actually would work much better. So let me open the entire thing one more time. And then go to my icon. It stretches, yes. So my placeholder for that, right? This should just go up a little. Never know which way to go with that. Okay, like that. So if I do that, let's check this one more time. Obviously now I'm too high. I kind of like the idea that the portrait will go out. Yeah, that is always Unity units is 1 meter is 1 Unity unit, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing 2D or 3D, but yeah, I kind of like this. But I have to measure a little bit better to have the bottom correct. But this end button needs to go. Or if it doesn't go, then I need to style it better. Thank you for... yeah, it looks quite good actually to break the container. I wasn't thinking that it would, but it does. So let me go check my scripts, because I have I wrote a script before for the dialogue. Wonder if I still have that somewhere close. Remember that I wrote that a while ago, but where the heck did I put that? Must be an ink script that I changed. Oh, that's really thinking. Thinking on a Monday night, guys. This is asking a bit much for me. Oh my goodness, when did I write that and where did I write that? Asset, project, ink? No, no, that was the wrong folder. Project, dialog script files, intro level, ink. Oh, I can do it in JSON. Because that I can use. This is more the descriptive version. Mhm. There we go. This is what I want. The responsive guy. And I'm sure I can extend that also with, it can be extended with moods and stuff like that. I can probably do that. Not probably too hard. So let's go, not here, but here, my initial conversation, and let's see how we did that. Create speech right here. And this is not the father, but this is Gaia. Portrait I have to import because I don't have that one here yet. a second, guys. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. I'm not fast enough. Portrait. And this one is definitely not finished yet, but it'll have to do for now. Uh, no. Okay, we'll have to do this one. Portrait. There. Okay. So let's see, because that should be the second one that we get. Um, let's see how it works. And if it looks okay. But this doesn't at least have an options to change the portrait left to right. Okay, now we have a continue option. That looks pretty good. And now we should be able to also connect that to audio files so we can actually have that read out loud. So that way, can based on anchor, pivot, and alignment. Does the container grow dynamically based on content, or is there a scroll tab? There is a scroll. We have an options for scroll here. If you go here and you look at, where is it? Where was that again? And on the conversation manager here. Scroll text. So it does have that. I can test that out really easily. Let's say that we make this text not that she would say that because Amsterdam is a bit too much for my little girl, but test it out really quickly what it does. I think it makes it smaller. To make the text smaller. For that, I probably have to look a little bit better at all the different options that this thing has. But we at least have a dialogue thing working now. We can do a lot of things in Unity. But I like this. This is starting to look like something cool. So, considering the fact that it's already after 10, and tomorrow again I have to get up early, I think I'm gonna leave it at this. My next things to do is gonna be to have a little look at this system that we just used, the conversation manager, to see what we can do to extend it a little bit. 5 a.m. every morning, so whenever I go to work. And sometimes I try to get up a little earlier so I can have some time before I start doing my work. But yeah, every day 5 a.m. That's what I do. It's not easy, but it has to be done. Somebody has to do it, otherwise you never get stuff done right. So um, let me see if I can go and rate somebody. Mhm. Yeah, it's getting there. Thank you so much till that do us part. I really enjoy getting some progress now. I just want to have basically all the systems that are important for making the level done. So basically, we can we can start putting all the things together, make the level finished, do the dialogue triggers at different points, so we can start with the flow a little bit better. Yeah, the Imperial March. Now I want to see Star Wars again. There's no noob questions here. Everybody is welcome. A beginner proof channel. Exactly. This is where the fun begins. So basically, um, you either pick pixels in Figma or something else in CSS. Hey man, we all started somewhere, and I always tell it, and it's also shown at my channel when you look at it. This is a beginner-friendly channel because I also have to basically invent the wheel for everything I'm doing. So there's no stupid questions, there are no noob questions. Everything is allowed here, and if we know the answer, we will help you. That's what we do. And Unity UI is much easier than Figma and CSS. Yes, but also more limiting. If you use this UI system, it's pretty limiting. There's another one I can show you real quick. I will not put it in now, but I will show you real quick. There's a UI toolkit one, which generates a UI document. And if you want to see what that looks like, if you do that, you get a panel settings and a source asset. And you can start to actually, inside this UI document, I don't know exactly where it is right now, but you can add components and start to look like you're making a CSS, but then it's Unity documentation. It's a Unity document and it's a UI document and it works the same as CSS. It has the same kind of properties. I did it in one project, but it's a while ago, so I must admit that I would have to look also again how to do that. But you can actually basically use your UI knowledge that you have from CSS inside of Unity as well. So then you have much more control of what you do with your UI. If I can show you the project really fast, I think I can. I did something called Laser Defender. I made that a while ago. Let me show you because that has UI document in there and uses the UI builder basically. That's a different way of setting up your UI. Give me a moment while I drink something because my throat tickles. Yeah, I need to make more jam games. Yeah. In case you're wondering, he's already trying to make me participate in a game jam that starts on my birthday. You totally should, man. It's really fun to do. I can really tell you it. I've had always a lot of fun making games, even though it just finished from 1100 and how many 1114 entries in Credibro. We ended in the top 300 overall with overall rating because we were in the popular, we were in top 10. And that means basically that people liked playing our game, I guess. But yeah, we were from 1118 entries, we were in top 300 in overall score. Based on 29 ratings, which is not a lot, so maybe a lot of people didn't even play our game. Could be that we would have ended higher or lower depending on that, but yeah, we'll never know. Okay, so this right here is a little side project I was making for a while. Don't even know if it still works actually. It does. There you go. I've been making this for a while ago. Not great, but it's a simple laser defender. And the UI that you see on the top there, that is actually, yeah, you should see my health bar go down. Yep, there you go. That is made in a UI, the new UI system that they use in Unity. And for that, it's got, look, you have a, you have this, what I just saw you, the UI showed you, that's a UI document. And in that, you have a visual tree asset. and I can show you what that looks like. And here you can just build UXML, and it really works basically the same as you know from CSS. So you have different things that have styles on it, and all this can be written and used and made to your heart's content and do whatever you want with that. So I just wanted to show you this because this UI is something I would have a lot of trouble with to do that in the previous UI system. But in this, I was able to make it a little nicer. So yeah, I think that's a nice way to end this, and you guys can have some fun learning. Did Unity change a lot in the last month? This new UI looks really easy to understand and use. Well, that is actually not that new anymore. I think it's more than a year old by now, but I didn't see a lot of people use it yet. But I do think if you are from a background of CSS, you will find that much easier. So you will have much less of trouble trying to implement your UI if you're used to CSS and you want to make a UI document, because basically that is familiar territory, and it has a separate editor that you can do next to your other thing. So you can, yeah, it's basically a little easier to use, but it doesn't have a lot of traction yet. So, for example, this conversation manager doesn't work that way. It works with the old dialogue system, with the old Canvas style. But yeah, it has a lot of strength. So yeah, and it also goes for me till death do us part. If you ever need anything, you need any help, any programming, you want to learn something, go ahead and check me out. I'm also on YouTube. On YouTube, I also have two little tutorials that I already made about doing things in Unity code-wise. Um, I could always make more, but I don't have a ton of time, so that's usually the problem with me making more Unity tutorials. I would love to do more, but I don't have the time or the money to do that. So may do that if there's enough demand for it. I might dedicate some time to making more tutorials. But so far, I've limited myself to two, and they hardly get watched anyway. So I guess they're not that interesting for people. Anyway, with that, I need to find the channel to raid. That's what I was just saying. But who am I going to raid today? We have Justin6. He's a Unity game dev who's making a split screen roguelike. Uh, Acer Ash, we know him. He makes pixel art and he's very nice. We could go Practical NPC, who's making a Godot platformer, precision platformer. Irish John Games, who's always nice to see. Cricket, who's played Aiden Sealang. No, that's not very interesting. Not for me at least. Shiano 4D, who's making also a Unity game. He's doing some polishing on his game. Could also go to Blind Warriors Fan, who is doing Street Fighter 6 and is totally blind. Split screen roguelike. Okay, we got it. That was Justin6. Okay, we're gonna raid our buddy Justin6. Give me a moment. I'll join his channel already to see if he's in commercials. No commercials here at the moment, at least. So let me go and raid. Justin6. There you go. So you know what to do, right? Show this guy some love and support and enjoy yourself. Be nice. Nothing bad. You know how it works. And Half Moon, thank you again for being there again. And I hope to see you again in the next stream. Have fun, everybody, and talk to you next time.